Welcome to the Legion of Lean podcast, where we battle mediocrity and build the best versions of ourselves. Get ready to transform.
Welcome to the Legion of Lean podcast. I'm Don Strange with my co-host, Corey Eggleston. I was going to say Vanna White. That shows how I am. You look nothing like Vanna White. And if I ever see you wear
I don't think so.
a blonde
Sequence
wig,
dress and yeah.
I love Wheel of Fortune. I was in love with Vanna White.
I don't even know. Who's the host now these days? Isn't the guy retired? Didn't Pat Sajak retire?
I think they quit. I don't think anybody can spell anymore. And so I think
that's probably true too.
Doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, I'm excited about the podcast today. You have some good ideas about it's coming. The summertime's coming, man.
Yeah.
And in barbecue season ain't cheat season, but a lot of people want to do it. I want to be making cheat season. But Corey, I don't even know what you've got in store for us, all the studies you've done and the logic you got. I mean, this guy stays 6% body fat year round. Maybe not, but I guarantee you, he's so cut. If he pulls up his shirt, you're going to get cut on his ass. He's ripped. But I think, Corey, you're going to help me. You're going to help the other people. You're going to help everybody.
I hope so.
I mean, I got a level of leanness that's more than everybody else, but you're living the brand like crazy. You're going to be on stage in a couple of years getting your pro card. So, Corey, what would you say? You know, people, it's a struggle in the summer. Give us some pointers, and I'll give some pointers too. Obviously, I'm a trainer, been doing this for 20 years. I'm not just patting you on the back and saying how great you are. I guess some ideas too.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm relatively new to the scene, you know. I mean, like I've always been working out. I would say in the past 4 to 5 years is when I really started to hit it hard and really I try to research and look at macros and things like that. You know, prior to that, I was the average guy, right? I was going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. I was eating chicken and rice, but I was never tracking anything. I didn't know what was going on. Taking my protein shake, but didn't really know what was going on. But I mean, we hear it all the time, right? Why do people want to start working out in the fall and the winter? For the summer, right? They want to get in shape for the summer. And really a lot of times people start too late, right? It's like, you know, March comes around. Oh man, I want to get in shape for summer. Well, That might be a little too late for you. But the thing is that if you do start in October, right? In November, and you don't go through the winter fluff season, right? Of putting on all the weight from the holidays and you actually grind it out and well, you want to keep that. You want to stay in shape. And hopefully, like we've said in previous podcasts, that now becomes your lifestyle and you're going to stick with that for a while. But I think that with, you know, most people, their vacations are over the summer. They've got barbecues. You've got Memorial Day, 4th of July, you know, Father's Day. So all things that you typically come with lots of food, right? Lots of good stuff, you know, desserts and all sorts of stuff. I think it's important for people to kind of have a couple tools to try and limit what they consume on those occasions. Not saying that you can't go, not saying that you have to sit there and just drink water and eat broccoli or, you know, or carrot sticks while you're there. You can definitely have fun and enjoy those things. But I definitely do a couple things.
You give me one, Corey, and I'll give you one. We'll go back.
So I will say this. This is one I tell everybody that I know that is on a journey to try and get in better shape. And they tell me, man, it's just, you know, I go out with my friends to watch a game or, you know, we've got all these family gatherings around the holidays or things like that, or they got vacation coming up. So what I always do is before any sort of like occasion where I know there's going to be a ton of food and chips and dips and things laying out, I will either eat 6 to 8 ounces of chicken by itself, about, you know, 30 minutes before I'm going to leave to go wherever I'm going. Or I will take 50 grams of a protein shake. That's my go-to typically every time I'm going somewhere, because that's going to help keep me a little bit fuller when I get there. I'm not going to just dive in the chips and the dip and, you know, whatever they've got laying out there. I can, you know, just kind of talk to my friends, you know, hang out, have a good time. And then when the food comes around, you know, whether it's, you know, a meat or something like that, I can have some of that, but that's definitely going to keep me full. It's not going to make me want to just go in there and just dive in everything. Cause I've heard the flip side. People say, oh, I'm not going to eat all day because I'm going to the Super Bowl party and I just want to eat it all. You know, I'm sure you've probably heard that too, right? All the time. So, you know, I'm going to save all my calories for the Super Bowl party. I was like, no, that's not me. You know, I'm going to try to stick to my diet as much as I can throughout the day. And I may pull back some carbs in the day just because I know I'm probably gonna have a few more carbs when I'm there. But 6 to 8 ounces of chicken, 30 minutes before I'm gonna leave, or drive there and drink a protein shake. And it's 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 not it's not the magic fix, but it's definitely gonna help because, like I said, if you go in there starving, you're definitely gonna overindulge in whatever it is they got sitting out there, the cheesy dips, things like that. So that's my first tip is
My
what I
God,
do.
you stole mine. That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm not just saying it. That's just what I do. That's what I
Yeah.
would tell anybody, even if you're going out to a restaurant. So, hey, I want to go out to a restaurant, go to the Texas Roadhouse tonight or whatever else. If you really want to be good, don't save up for the night. Like you said, if you do save up for the night, you're going to overeat so many calories. It's insane. You eat before you go. About an hour before you go, you say, I'm going to have a couple of protein shakes. I'm going to have a piece of steak. I have a piece of chicken. If you do that, you're going to do better. Reiterate your point. I wish I would have been my point, but you stole it from my brain. I don't know. We didn't even share
I got
notes.
more. I got more.
No, I got one. This is what I would say. I'm not a drinker. I don't drink alcohol. I'm not going to
Yeah,
touch
neither do
alcohol.
I. Yeah.
But we're rare. There's not very many of us out here. We're like unicorns. People are judging us right now. I'm judging you, you alcoholic. You're looking at me like that. You don't drink. You think you're cool? While you get drunk, if me and Corey were single, we'd be kissing your girlfriend while you're passed down. That's the kind of guys we are. Actually, I'm a married Christian man. I'm not doing that
As am
now.
I. As am I.
So,
As am I.
but if you get drunk, that's fine. This is what I would tell people about drinking alcohol, though. If you're going to drink alcohol, do this. And I wouldn't recommend beer. I used to love beer. I used to like to taste beer, but drink lots of water. Hydrate while you do it. If you take a shot of whatever alcohol you're going to do, have a glass of water with it too. Have 12 ounces of water if you have a beer, mix and match. You're probably not going to do that, but that's what I would do. Alcohol is probably one of the worst things that you can do to your body to kill muscle.
I mean, you're deliberately poisoning yourself with something, with a toxin, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but here's the thing. It's like, yeah, I'm the same. I'm not judging anyone for drinking. I mean, trust me, 7, 8 years ago, if you wanted someone to go out with, you're calling up Corey because he's going to meet you wherever you want to go. But it was when I really got into fitness, I realized that was an obstacle, something that I could just easily take out that was blocking my goals. And so that's just for me.
Well,
But I mean,
I don't think it's.
yeah.
I like the fact. Sorry for cutting you off. I'm just.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I think it's for everybody. I think if you drink, I don't think it's wise to drink. I mean, it's so funny to me because it's people look at me like I'm a prude whenever I don't drink. It's like, the
It
deal
used
is,
to be like that for sure. Yeah.
look how much trouble I stay out of by not drinking.
Oh man. Oh, yeah.
So I'm not judging you. However, whenever I drink, I never made good decisions. Never made good decisions eating.
You would never find a single person that says that they did, right?
My God, I make way better decisions whenever I drink alcohol. So, and plus it just kills muscle mass. So sorry about cutting you off there.
No,
finish what you're saying, Corey, if you remember.
Do you remember? I don't remember now, but I was just gonna say, yeah. So I mean, that's something that, like I said, and I had some alcoholism in my family, so I figured it was a good idea just to stop that before it got to that point. That was the last thing I wanted. I remember growing up with my dad and being alcoholic and things like that, and always seeing him. I just thought it was normal, because that's you're raised that way, and so I made the decision I didn't want my kids to ever be like see that or feel that way. So my kids have never seen me drink. For the most part, maybe Max, but he was too young to remember. But anyway, so I just feel that's what worked best for me. Now there are plenty of people out there that they operate, perfectly fine when they, that they can go out and have a couple drinks here and there and things like that. But I think, and now we're kind of getting off topic here, but maybe this can still go staying on track, right? During the summer season, because let's be honest, you're out by the pool, you're wherever you're at the barbecue, you're going to have, a few beers. A dozen or whatever it may be, but I feel that it's something that's if you're gonna do that, again, in moderation, you can, because you got to think how many calories you taking in when you're drinking. A beer was 100 and some calories, or even if you get what's a Bud Light, I think that's 100, right? And you got the Bud Select is a 90 or whatever it is. Anyway, but that's not even the thing. Is it's also when you drink 3-4 beers, guess what? You start to maybe think, it's fine, I'll just have this cake or these brownies or whatnot. And so now the calories not only come from the alcohol, you're going to overeat, whether it's pizza, whether it's chicken wings or whatever it may be. You're most likely going to have a lot more calories than if you were not consuming the alcohol. So that's another thing.
What's amazing about alcohol too is, this wasn't what we were supposed to talk about, but I enjoy this topic because whenever, especially if I'm training competitors, it's like, if you're a competitor, you drink, stop, because you're just wasted. You're wasting so much muscle mass. Whenever you drink alcohol, your body does it. Alcohol is not a macronutrient. It provides no nutrition whatsoever. So whenever you drink it, your body can't utilize it for anything in the body. It can't be used for energy immediately. It has to actually be stored as fat before it's used as energy. And so every alcoholic drink that you have, before it is actually burned, is converted to fat. And so that sucks. And so then if you want to get lean, the last thing you want to do is let your body determine what it's going to burn for fat. The reason what me and Corey do, we decide what we're going to eat, and we decide what our body burns for energy, and we control those macronutrients so we don't store fat. But if you're drinking alcohol, it's going to be stored as fat. You're making a decision for yourself that it's stored as fat because you're putting something in your body that can't use energy. And so now whenever you get in a calorie deficit, your body's got to determine what it's going to use. Is it going to use the fat that you just stored from alcohol, or is it going to take muscle mass? And you know this, Corey, you probably heard me say this. Whenever people go on the standard American, quick fix diet that's low protein, they lose about 30% muscle mass. And it's a diet and weight gain revolution. They gain weight, they lose muscle mass, they lose their metabolism goes in the dumpster, and they gain weight. Lose, gain, lose, gain, lose, gain. And over the course of 10, 20 years, they've lost 10 pounds of muscle mass. Your metabolism's in the dump. All because they got drunk one night at a barbecue. Gosh,
and being my age at 35, I feel like a hangover would last me about 4.5 days. So
my God,
I wouldn't be doing a whole lot for. And that was the other thing is, you wake up the next morning, like, you're not gonna, even if you go to the gym, you're not getting much out of it.
No,
you go through the motions. And like I said, I mean, I do. When I could drink it in my 30, I was about 30, maybe 29. If it was one of those real crazy nights, good nights, where you really drank. I mean, that hangover, it felt like it lasted 2 days. Like you were not your same. You did not get back to normal for at least 48 hours. And so I just, like I said, that was the best decision for me. But I do feel like it's something that if anyone's on the, thinking, well, maybe I want to get into fitness or I want to do this, I think that's the same way. I think if you can throw out alcohol, that's one of the first things you should do.
Yep. So we went from, my point was if you're going to drink alcohol, drink water with it. And then we just said, if you drink alcohol, you're a freaking idiot. You moron. Are you kidding me? You're going to put that poison in your body? I'm glad we got this. We are so righteous. Man, I feel like whenever I talk to you, you talk to me, we're like talking, it's like talking to Jesus and the Apostle Paul right here, to be honest with you. We're holy, and everybody else is not. Okay, so give me another one, Corey. What do you got next? You mean throw one out there? You got one. You got any more?
I got a couple. I'm sure.
I can't wait.
I'll steal another one of yours. So
if you steal another one, I'm going to stop the podcast immediately.
I always travel with.
I hope you enjoyed the Legion of Lean podcast. Stay lean, hit subscribe, and join us next time.